So I just find it interesting looking at this Popular Mechanics article, Weird History of Unidentified Submerged Object. Now, this was written on October 9th, last week, 2019. The eyewitness was a former pilot, and he flew the Sea Dragon. Now, if you're in the Navy, it's a Sea Dragon. The Marine version is called a Sea Stallion, but they don't want to use that because they're the Navy, they fly Sea Dragon. Now, a base in Puerto Rico, twice recovering spent practice munitions, he spotted weird objects in the water. The first incident, he saw a dark mass under the water while trying to retrieve a practice flying drone. And it was big mass, kind of circular, but it wasn't a submarine. No matter what anybody wants to think, it wasn't a submarine. He wants to make sure you know. The second sighting, trying to get a practice torpedo, something sucked down the torpedo, and it was a similar underwater object, and it was never seen again. And after seeing that revelations, it just kind of makes me think that you could tie these two together so simply. And it can also be the way that they can have something come out of the ocean and be aliens and not have to worry about people seeing anything come down from space and, you know, be from another galaxy. They could be the creators who've always been here, but they needed to wait for the right time. So imagine a UFO pops up out of the water one day and saves a sinking ship or a city from a missile or a plane crashing, and then disappears back in, and then it causes more intrigue into the situation. Now, if it just comes up again, during war times and says you need to stop this, missiles are flying or something of that account, and then all of a sudden it stops all of it. It saves the planet from nuclear destruction. And then he just claims, the doors open up and then all of a sudden it's a robot. I've heard people talk about that on those alien shows. Oh, the Greys are actually biomechanical suits, or they're clones, or they're some sort of a biometric living entity thing that they've created that is alive, but it's not alive. And then you look at, the AIs that they talk about these days on all the commercials, football commercials and all this history discovery and blah, blah, blah. And then say this robot thing is a precursor and says, here's all the information that you need about how the earth and animals and everything was created. And we brought your moon to help sustain life here, and we found the perfect sun and all that. And then he brings forth the creator of him, the second beast. And I beheld another beast come out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from the heavens on the earth in sight of men, and deceive them that dwell on the earth by means of those miracles. So that's further into Revelations. And I think it's just an interesting tie to why would the Navy be giving out all this classified information, their grainy video, which I think is kind of ridiculous when my cell phone camera puts out a better picture than a, couple $1 billion jet with that kind of a grainy picture coming out of it that looks like something out of the 60s, a jet platform. So I think that video is just, suspect in itself and ridiculous to think that is what, when they're in the war room and they say, well, what did you see? Was it a Chinese jet, or was it a Russian fighter, or was it you know, this or that, and they say, oh no, look, this is what I saw. And they say, well, it's a black and white, grainy, fuzzy ball that's, does it have wings? I can't really tell. Oh no, sir, I tell you, it was Tic Tac shaped. Well, I can't see that in the picture, so now I have to think that you're out of your mind. Oh no, sir, take my word for it. Nope, you're grounded. Instead, yep, that's what I'm seeing here too. It looks like it must be some Tic Tac shaped thing, la la la. Look at all the drones they have going on today, and you think that a drone can hover, it can go in different directions, it doesn't have to worry about a pilot, and they make it sound so unbelievable and supernatural. But isn't that technology today? To think that we don't have the technology to make something better than an airplane, yet they're tracking it, they're watching it with amazement. It came out of the water. Oh, it's not a missile that's launching across the water at some rapid pace that I can't keep up with, because I can't keep up with a missile either. But no, this is something different. This is something I don't have to worry about flying into a city and destroying it. No, this is supernatural, extraterrestrial, and we have to just monitor the situation. Why would you not be trying to call it out and get confirmation? And when it doesn't confirm or say what it is, then you'd have to think it's a weapon, and then you start shooting at it to take it out, not to let it fly across the sky at you. Oh, well, you didn't see all the other things that were happening. It flew back into the water and disappeared. Well, that should concern you even more, because now you don't know what you just saw, and you can't prove that it wasn't a weapon. And your Navy buddies on their boats, they're in the water, and this thing's in the water. And instead of being concerned, you guys are laughing and saying it's unbelievable. That scares me more than anything when I watch that video, is to hear the audio, not the video. I'm going to keep looking into this, because I think you know, we have to always know. We've thought of the Great Deception, and people have talked about space and all that, but I don't think it's going to come out of space. I think space is spent. If anything, if NASA starts doing moon travel or something like that, and we do try to land on the moon, maybe this thing comes and protects us, you know, from another Apollo 11 catastrophe scenario. It remains to be seen. All right, see you guys.